Welcome to Rosslyn Court. My name's Moray Butler, and tonight, live and with an audience, we have Maddie Morris, and unfortunately, not Lillian Grace, who was very untimely pinged by the National Health Service earlier on today, so she hasn't been able to come here. We also don't have Chris because he's recuperating upstairs after having had an operation this week, so he's okay. He's, you know, live and demanding. We've got the raffle as usual, and first prize in the raffle is a Maddie Morris CD, which is rather wonderful. You will notice that her guitar has a little blip out of the end of it, which is apparently rabbit-caused. I didn't ask. Second prize in the raffle is a gold emergency toilet roll supplied by Who Gives a Crap, our favourite charity. It's a company that gives 50% of their profits to charity. You enter the raffle by being here, really. You are all entered into the raffle. Yeah, I know, it's so exciting, isn't it? And also, people at home, if you could donate to Maddie, because she has come all the way from Leeds today, which is amazing, and she has to go home again. So she needs the money to get home, which otherwise she'll have to, I don't know, walk or something. And the other thing you can do, if you're not in a position at the moment to donate to Maddie, if you could join in the live chat, then you will also be entered in for the raffle. Okay, that's good. If you donate after the event, if you've come back from the pub and you're watching it now, sit up straight, because that doesn't look good. And also, could you just say who you're donating to? Because sometimes people watch the wrong thing. Yeah? Okay, I'm going to sing a song, so you might want to nip off and put the kettle on or have a loo break or something. I'm going to sing, not you lot, I'm going to sing Green Grow the Rashes, though, which is a song that I love. It's about women, and it was written in 1783. And you have to think, you know, it's amazing that he was writing in a positive way about women at that point in history, when normally women were either put down or ignored. So it's a good song, and it's got a chorus, so you can join in the chorus, please. Yeah?
Every hour that passes, oh, what signifies the life of man, if 'twere not for the lasses, oh. Green grow the rashes, oh, green grow the rashes, oh, sweetest are the tare I spend among the lasses, oh. That tuning. The war race may riches chase, and riches they may fly them all. And though at last they catch them fast, their hearts cannot enjoy them all.
Come on now.
Green grow the rashes, oh, green grow the rashes, oh, sweetest solitaire I spent among the lasses, oh. Give me a canny hour a teen, my arms around my dearie, oh, and warlike cares and warlike men may all go tapsily, oh. Green grow the rashes, oh, green grow the rashes, oh, sweetest solitaire I spent among the lasses, oh. And you seduce, you sneer at this, you're naught but senseless asses, oh, the wisest man the world ever saw, he dearly loved the lasses, oh. Green grow the rashes, oh, green grow the rashes, oh, sweetest solitaire I spent among the lasses, oh.
Day no more now.
Old nature swears the lovely dears, her noblest work she classes, oh, her apprenticed hand she tried on man, and then she made the lasses, oh. Green grow the rashes, oh, green grow the rashes, oh, sweetest solitaire I spent among the lasses, oh.
Well, Maddie and Lillian, in fact, graduated with a BA in folk music from Leeds Conservatoire in 2020. My goodness, that was only last year.
That was last year. Yes, that was
Goodness. And their music has been described as thought-provoking, challenging, and incredibly haunting. Maddie has won the Radio 2 Folk Performers Award. And in June this year, Maddie and Lillian received a Sound and Music COVID-19 Composer Award, which allowed them to explore new songwriting. Very clever, yeah. So she can tell us all about that, yeah? The floor is yours, Maddie.
Thank you very much. And Morag, that was incredible. I mean, well done. That was wonderful to listen to. Thank you so much for having me today. This is the first gig I've done the first in-person gig with actual people other than like my partner and my rabbits in over a year. So that's really exciting. And the last gig I did was in my hometown, so it was a bit weird. So this is definitely a lot more fun. The first song I'm going to sing is called Let No Man Steal Your Time. It's a traditional song, and it was really interesting what Morag was just saying about traditional music. I love traditional music, but the view of women isn't always that great, to say the least. And this is one of the songs that I really enjoy because it's a song that was written, I think, to explore things that were maybe not allowed to be talked about in the time that it was being used and sung. This is Let No Man Steal Your Time. Now, I didn't write down the starting notes for any of the songs for my set tonight, and I realised on reflection that was a really bad call, so if I end up changing the key at any point, that's intentional. That's what I'm going to say. Come, all you fair and tender girls that flourish in your prime. Beware Let no man steal your time, for when your time has passed and gone, he'll care no more for you. And every place where your time was laced will spread all over through, will spread all over through. The gardener's son was passing by. 3 flowers he gave to me, the red, the blue, and the violet too, and the red, red rosy tree. But I forsook that red rose bush and gained the willow tree. Now every man can plainly see how my love he sighted me. For woman is a branchy tree, and man a creeping vine, and from your branches carelessly he takes what he can find. He takes what he can find. Come, all you fair and tender girls that flourish in your prime. Beware, if your garden's fair, let no man steal your time. Thank you very much. Thanks so much. It's really weird. So when the online gig started, I was still at uni, and we had a conversation in a lecture, and I think it lasted about 15 minutes on what the new cultural to-do thing would be after finishing a song, and we came to the decision that you had to count to 5 and then you could go, and that was that, and I can move on. So it was really nice to hear people and not have to count to 5, so thank you. 2021 is really the year where people start thanking for clapping, so thank you for clapping. I really appreciate it. So it's lovely. In fact, I'm not going to have that because I'm sat down. Again, it's all learning. It's all new to me. It's lovely to be here, and thank you for welcoming me into Margate. I was calling it Marigate. I'm going to be honest with you all. I'm really dyslexic, and I used to live somewhere called Mabgate, which was really similar, and I thought, there's no way it's Mabgate and Margate because those are too similar. But they are, because letters, they change things, don't they? So now you all know. It's a learning experience for us all once again. The next song I'm going to sing is called 10 Past 5. And this is really new. I wrote this about, I think, a month ago. And the best thing about singing songs that you've written is if you sing the lyrics wrong, no one knows. So that's great. So however you hear it, that's what it was meant to sound like. Also, I did tune my guitar before I came on, but I tuned it to the wrong tuning, which, again, just really well thought out, really good on my part. But yeah, this is called 10 Past 5, and I wrote this a little bit about, I guess, it was Pride Month last month, which is great. I love Pride Month, but I think, and it's something I'm going to talk about a few times in this set, a lot of the time my experience of Pride Month sort of in 2021 and the last couple of years, it's more about selling things than about liberation, which is kind of the original idea of what Pride Month was meant to be about. And I wrote this song a little bit about my reality of being LGBT, kind of when you're being surrounded by messages, which is like, rainbow this, buy all these things, and then you can support the LGBT community, when a lot of people don't realise that supporting the LGBT community is also just about thinking about your language and the way you treat people and the way, you know, you work with other people. So that's kind of what it's about, but it's a lot bitterer than that. So that's... I'm sorry. Oh, wait, no. Give me a second. That's better. That is better. Like I said, this is learning for me. It is. This is live. Crazy. I'm sorry you had me screaming at 5:10 in the morning. A minor inconvenience set me off. The last few days I'm writing eulogies in the margins while my lover is lay sleeping. She held my body while it was writhing from the pain of the mundane. The pain of yesterday keeps me safe. The pain of yesterday pays my bills and it strokes my face. The pain of yesterday is my lover. Last night we firstly got married and then beat up each other. Pain of yesterday is my prescription. It's worth more than the aspirin and the painkiller addiction. And I'm sorry I keep lying. You say it falls from my lips. I've been playing songs for hours and still I have no tips. I'm falling through the room and I'm sat inside your lap. You paid nothing for your ticket and still I'm giving the money back. I'm sorry I called you out when your silence became oppressive. I'm sorry I couldn't be a bystander to corporate violence without the suits. You flicked us minorities off like fleas with the dirt under your fingernails. The second you're held accountable, homophobia is telling tales. And when you wash the blood off your mannequin hands, it's easy to play it off as if PC is going mad. And I'm sorry I was happy just living in a fishbowl, was watching the distorted faces of customers through the screen. But there's got to be more to life than chlorines and castles. We are living in a nightmare and they are selling us a dream. I woke up in a sweat last night from the accusation of telling lies. My clothes stuck to my body and my hair stuck to my chest. And I'm glad that it was me this time instead of one of your daughters. Funny how the situation changes when you give a shit about people oppressed. Thank you. Thanks so much. You know, so when I wrote that song, I wanted to have a line that was like true but lying, because it was about the idea of like when people who are queer talk about their experiences of oppression, it's like, oh, well, you're making that up, like it's not that bad. So I was like, oh, I'll write a line about having hair, because I've not got any hair. But then I sang it to one of my friends, well, Lillian, who isn't here, and she was like, you not got any hair? And I was like, well, I know. That was the idea. Well, yeah. But yeah. Anyway, the next song is called Blood and Gold, and I didn't write this. I learnt this from the singing of, now give me a second, June Tabor, who is awesome. A really cool thing happened earlier on the screen. Oh, so when I look at that, okay, that's weird. So on the screen where there was a picture of Martin Carthy and then there was a picture of me afterwards, and that was probably the coolest thing that's happened in a really long time. Like, yeah, just Martin Carthy, no big deal. So I learned this from the singing of June Tabor, who is also really cool, just like Martin Carthy. In my degree, I was really interested in looking at folk traditions and the way women's voices are portrayed, not just in terms of the way in traditional music we sometimes see kind of outdated ideas of what it is to be female, but also literally the way that a lot of songs that are written for women to sing are very like dainty and polite, in at least the folk tradition that I was brought up with. But that's not the case, and I became really interested in Bulgarian folk music and folk music from other cultures and the way that women's voices are kind of heard in that one, and in that sense. And Blood and Gold was a song that to me just struck me with this like this power, and kind of thought about the instrumental traditions that I'd listened to in other cultures, and that's kind of where I came to my singing of this song. But yeah, this is Blood and Gold. I'm going to move this back a little bit because it's quite loud. So yeah, okay, cool. Oh, mother, weep for your sons. He is gone to kill and die. On ride to Captain and 300 soldier lads, out in the morning mist into the silent snow. Whistling gaily rides the captain at their head. Behind him soldier boys sadly weeping go. For when you took your gold and swore to follow me, you sold away your life and your liberty. No more you'll till the soil, no more you'll work the land. No more to the dance you'll go and take girls by the hand. Oh, mother, weep for your son. He has gone to kill and die. You weep, you die by the keen edge of the sword, all alone on the muddy Danube shore. The order came for the bummer to beat their drum, that all along might know the life a soldier lives. Unfurl your ragged banners, embrace your pale young face. You'll all die in the fire, there'll be no hiding place. Oh, mother, hear the drum beat in the village square. Oh, mother, that drum's for me to go to a soldier there. Brothers, sisters, wives, weep for us. Marked as Cain, we die alone. Thank you very much. Thank you. The next song is okay, cool. Morag mentioned that I won the Young Folk Award in 2019, which was probably the coolest thing ever that I've ever done. And it was this really crazy experience of kind of like, you know, when something's happening, you're like, this is happening, but like it's not happening because how can this be happening? I sang 2 songs. I sang Barbara Allen, which I might sing later. I think I probably will sing it later. And then this song, and I almost didn't sing this song. It was around when the Me Too movement was becoming a lot more mainstream, a lot more talked about. And I wrote this song kind of inspired by a bunch of different stories. and kind of thinking about the sort of systematic oppression of women. And the story I usually tell of this is that I lived in this little flat in central Leeds, in kind of like, when you picture like a student flat, that's where I lived, like a student flat. And we had this leak, and it was like we had like this much water like on the bottom of our kitchen. And I kept on calling my landlord, and I was like, there's a really bad leak. And he was like, it's condensation. And I was like, I don't think it is. And then he came over and he was like, oh, this will dry up. Like, I'm literally talking like this much water. He's like, no, this will dry up. I was like, I really don't think it will. But no, seriously, you just leave this. Don't come in the room for a couple of days and it'll be gone. And I was like, it's my kitchen, bro. Like, it was great, really great story. But what I always come back to is I wonder how my experience would differ if I was a different person. So if maybe I was male, or if maybe I lived with like a man instead of a woman, or maybe if I was older, or I spoke, with a different accent, all these kind of things that affect the way that we are perceived in society. And I wondered maybe how would that situation have been different if maybe I was like someone who clearly had a lot of money, or I lived in like an area that was maybe, more well off. Would the response be different? Would my ceiling have got fixed? It didn't get fixed, for the record, if anyone's wondering. He also told us not to turn on the lights. He was like, just don't turn on the lights because that might be bad for the electricity. I was like, really? Thank you for that. I wouldn't have guessed. But more seriously, let me tune that. More seriously, it was, that's what this is about. Well, that's not really what this is about, but that's the story I tell. I'm going to tune the guitar so that it's bearable to listen to. And then the worst thing about being dyslexic, right, is like music's all about alphabets. It's not great. So like, I feel like most people will like learn the alphabet and then they like learn how to play instruments. But I was like, I should probably learn this. We're about halfway there with it. So maybe next time, if I ever come back here, maybe we'll all have got after like P, and then we'll know that half, and then we can all sing it together at the end. So that's what we'll do. But yeah. Wait, let me move this forward. Sorry, sound person, I'm really sorry that I moved that. I'll do that again now. I won't do it again, I promise. He started out soft. Now he's black mold glowing on the walls. And he's setting up camp inside my lungs. And you avoid eye contact in my mind's indulgent courtrooms, while my memory of you leaks out like a refrigerator's hum. And there's a lawyer to my left, and my mother to my right, and a memory of such evil on me like a sucking parasite. And he sits at the stand with no shackles on his hands, but he leaves dragging in the cavity of my mind. And where do I go from here? Where do I go from here? And where do I go from here? Now there's this leak inside my kitchen that my landlord refuses to fix, so I fall asleep at night to the sound of the drip. And then I settled down to uninvited dreams of angry men and reoccurring themes, my memory of all you did to me without the courtesy of censorship. And where do I go from here? Where do you go from here? And where do you go from here? Now there's this politician talking on my granny's cheap TV, and he swings around how easily he can take our rights away from me. And if I'm 11 now, where does that leave me when I'm 30? I didn't even know that I had it when he took it from me. And where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? And where do we go from here? Thank you.
You are watching Maddie Morris. She's been absolutely brilliant. Now, if you're watching at home and you possibly can, could you please donate something to Maddie Morris? Because she has a load of rabbits that need to be fed so that they stop eating her guitar. And it's
got a kitchen to dry out.
And a kitchen to dry out, indeed. Yeah. All of these things. If you can, please, can you donate using the running thing along the bottom of your screen? Thank you very much. Maddie, back to you.
Thank you, Morag. I do have hundreds of rabbits. In fact, that's a really good gateway because I always am like, oh, don't go on the rabbits too soon. But while we're on the rabbits, so I released a little CD called Purgatory, which Morag so lovely displayed earlier. And it's actually my rabbit, who I also have here. And she's got a little tear in her ear and she's called Opal. I have 8 others, but we'll get onto those ones later. In fact, yeah, we will. The next song I'm going to sing is called Blue Murder. So one of the things that's really cool about folk music, as I'm sure a lot of you know, because you all like folk music, from what I can tell. I mean, I hope, because if you don't, that's a real shame. But there's this song by Alistair. One of the cool things is that folk music is this really cool way to learn about new things. And so Alistair Hewlett, who was an incredible musician, wrote this song Blue Murder, and it was about the asbestos mines in West Australia, and kind of the experiences of these miners who didn't know. I mean, the reality was they didn't know that what they were doing for work was actually, very slowly killing them. It was an awful, awful human rights violation, but kind of shows the realities that a lot of us have, where you've got to work so you can live, and so you do what you can do, even if that is causing you, irreparable damage. But Alistair wrote 3 songs about the Whitney mines and the violations that sort of came along that, and one of them was this song Blue Murder. I don't know if any of you know it, but if you get it, feel free to sing along. I've been so excited. I was talking to my partner the whole way here in the train about how excited I was to hear actual human voices. But we can always save that for later. Yeah. They say it's easy money, full page ad in the local rag, always nice and sunny. Come on, lad, and pack your bags. Day in, day out, every day they drive us harder. Day in, day out, they're getting away with blue murder. They took me to my quarters, a stinking bed in an oaten shed. I got my working orders with a lamp and a tin hat on my head. Day in, day out, every day they drive us harder. Day in, day out, they're getting away with blue murder. My girl, she's a cook and a cleaner, works all day in the canteen hall. 6 days since I've seen her, some don't have no girl at all. Day in, day out, every day they drive us harder. Day in, day out, they're getting away with blue murder. I feel my health is fading, work all day in the thick blue dust. Kids play in the tailings, but the boss says work and work I must. Day in, day out, every day they drive us harder. Day in, day out, they're getting away with blue murder. Day in, day out, every day they drive us harder. Day in, day out, they're getting away with blue murder. They say it's easy money, full-page ad in the local rag. Always nice and sunny, come on lads and pack your bags. Day in, day out, every day they drive us harder. Day in, day out, they're getting away with blue murder. Thank you. Cool, that's so cool. Thank you. The next song I'm going to sing is about So Marsha P. Johnson is this really cool activist, and there are actually two songs. Well, there's two songs if you're here in person. There's only one song if you're here in the universe about Marsha tonight. But basically, she was this really cool activist. And was kind of key in the Stonewall riots, which were the kind of one of the key things that happened in the gay rights movement, which was kind of about getting us our original kind of liberation, which has obviously taken a very, very long time. But Marsha was she was a sex worker, and she was a trans woman, and she was black, and she was really, really cool. And what's really sad is she's kind of forgotten. And what's even sadder is that I think a lot of people get given their history, right? Like we learn it in school. So I could tell you loads about like, I don't know, kings and shit, but like not about like the people who kind of made it so that I can sit here today and like get a train and stuff. And I think that's really sad. And so I wrote this song kind of about Marsha and the way that, firstly, I kind of try and compare a lot of the stuff I do and think, am I doing what is right and what I can hopefully tell my children that I did the right thing. But also I think there's an added pressure on gay people to kind of be activists and self-activists. And the reality is like, you don't have to do that. You have a right to just exist and not have your identity be seen in a political way. So I kind of wrote this song about those two things. I like to talk about Marsha because I think she gets forgotten a lot. So if you take one thing away from this gig, other than toilet roll, I hope that it's you remember Marsha and her name because she's really cool. Remember to lock the dogs in before you leave for work. And remember to turn the lights off, and if you can, leave the blinds down. Remember to leave your laundry on the countertop. And pray to God that I don't get beaten up when I walk into town. I walk to the doctors to get my prescription. And I flinch at the sound of cars as they pass me by. And if I hear the sound of windows down, I feel my body tensing. It's just a kid looking at the houses while his mum drives by. And Marsha, if you hear me, I think it's time that did I give in? 'Cause the recipe for my destruction was an angry man and a whim. I started dropping out to visits from your family's house. My skin can't bear the echo of the words I've never said, and all I do is talk about my own self. And it's changing now, but at least I never did. I'm worried if I hold you, love, too tightly, my bones will break at the will of a life of all my spoken truths. And I've been having these long chats with Aphrodite, but it's fair to say that good advice isn't always her strong suit. Marsha, if you hear me, I think it's time that I give in. 'Cause the recipe for my destruction was an angry man and a whim. And a whim. And we're so tired of being harassed on the streets. It feels like my whole life is defined by my bed sheets. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah. The next song I'm going to sing. So we don't have Lillian Grace here today, who is an incredible unaccompanied singer who I met in Leeds on my degree. And yeah, it's really shit sometimes. I don't know if I'm supposed to swear. Am I allowed to swear? No. Well, I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, it is too late. I really should have, I really should have asked. But now I know. But yeah, Lillian can't be here, and she'll be in, I think she's in Leeds listening to this now because she's an angel. So yeah. She is. Hi, Lillian. I hope you're okay. We went to Lillian's house yesterday with a big bag of groceries and just like put them in front of her door and then ran away, which is, a real like metaphor for the time we live in right now, I think. But yeah. Anyway, the next song I'm going to sing is called Bloom, and I wrote this with Lillian, and it was a really weird thing, right? So we sang this the last like time I went into like and did like a music thing in person. I lied earlier, not intentionally, but we went and recorded this at Leeds Folk with the Derbyvilles, and they put it online and didn't tell us, and so I was like scrolling and I was like, oh look, that's me. Crazy. But yeah, we wrote this song in the third year of our degree, and it's called Bloom, and we're hoping to put it on the album that we're recording at the moment. And it's really weird not singing it with Lillian, because usually I sing sort of back and I just let her sort of do her beautiful singing thing. But today it's just me. So if any of you know what Lillian sounds like, just picture her in your head on my behalf. Yeah. I grow where they laid my seeds. I never asked to be a flower or a tree or a weed. I was surprised, I never thought that you would bloom. I was surprised, I never thought that you would bloom. There's a darkness inside the trees. I think it comes for me, but no one is compliant to check the growth of dandelions. I grew where they laid my seed, and I never asked to be a flower or a tree or a weed. I was surprised, I never thought that you would bloom. I was surprised, I never thought that you would bloom. Settled beneath the fog, grown under briars and thorns. I grow towards the sun, hold what shape I can in summer storms. I was surprised, I never thought that you would bloom. I was surprised, I never thought that you would bloom. I was surprised, I never thought that you would bloom. I was surprised, I never thought that you would bloom. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I released a little album in lockdown, and basically it was a really grim time for everyone. My partner tested positive back before we kind of knew a whole lot about COVID, and it was really, really scary. And I kind of needed something to do so that I wasn't like hovering in that way that those of us who have overbearing partners, which I definitely am, will know that kind of like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, like I told you that like 30 seconds ago, please just like go. And so I kind of started this songwriting project where I just made myself write and record a song a day, so that I kind of wasn't hovering. And it ended up being like kind of weird, because on the one hand I was really proud of it and it's like really cool that I've kind of got this thing, but on the other hand it's like from like one of the like, I'm not swearing, so one of the worsterest weeks, because it was really, really scary. But yeah, and it's a weird thing, I guess, as a songwriter. I kind of feel like when you write a song and then like you live for a little bit and then you go back to it, it kind of feels like looking through, like, you know, when you keep journals when you're like 11 and they're like, my life's so hard, and it's kind of like that, and then you sing them to people. That's really relatable, I'm sure. But yeah, so this next song I'm gonna sing is called Vote, and it's about voting and how important that is. I work in Batley, and we had a really big election recently, which you might have heard about in the news, which you probably did. Well, yeah. And I voted, which is probably not a surprise because the song's called Vote. But it's really interesting, and it was a weird thing because I was on holiday with my partner's parents, who I think might be watching. So hi, Ian. And I saw us on the news, and we were watching it, and I was like, if I really think that looks like Batley. And I was like, today in Batley, and I was like, oh, that is Batley. But yeah, and they always show the same little bits of Batley. They always show like, well, it's not very big, so they show like the same 3 roads, but then they show them from different angles, so it looks like there's more of it. I don't know. Does anyone know where Batley is? I realised that I'm not in the north. Yeah, it's in the north. Perfect. Yeah. Exactly. It's in the north. That's all you need to know. Yeah, no. Batley's, yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, I'm just trying to tune my guitar and make chat. So how was your day? I think this is tuned right. Anyway, I wrote this song in my little songwriting coven, because I think I don't know, voting's important. I guess that's kind of it. I don't know what else I could say about that. Did I? Yeah. I used to sit across a table from a life that could have killed me, and the silence stained me like a bruise. And the static of his eye contact burnt dark holes into my ears, but I stayed quiet like we were taught to. And I could list the 1 in 10 and an arm's work of statistics, all the things they don't report in the news. And I could bring out all my pickets for another night of shouting, but my lungs are red and raw, and my skin just begs me not to. And I won't pat my back for ticking a box on a page, and in years from now can't brag about a contribution that I made, but for the stories they're reporting and the stories that they don't, the least I can do is vote. There's a damp inside my bedroom and my bathroom and my kitchen, and the landlord can't seem to say a word. But every month like clockwork, all the money that I work for, he takes a third. And there's a guy sleeping rough just 3 doors down from my flat, and he can't be much younger than me. It's like we're taught by little children to avert our eyes to learn how not to see. And I won't pat my back for ticking a box on a page, and in years from now can't brag about a contribution that I made, but for the stories they're reporting and the stories that they don't, the least I can do is vote. And I can't pat my back for ticking a box on a page, and in years from now can't brag about a contribution that I made, but for the stories they're reporting and the stories that they don't, the least I can do is vote. Thank you.
We're going to have another song from Maddie in a minute, before the end of the live stream. But first we have the most important thing, which is the raffle. Can you pull to...
Oh, can I? Yeah. Well, that's a big, okay. Yeah. Right, I'm not looking.
Huge responsibility.
Okay, that's one.
Ooh.
And, okay, this is fine motor skills, that's 2.
Ooh. Okay. Alan Curry, you've won the CD. Yay! Sort of way. And Ben, you've won the toilet roll. All is not lost. Can you down? And that's great. That's wonderful. We're coming to an end. We're just gonna go back to Maddie for one more song.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thank you so much to everyone who has, Some of you actually have another bit of me. But thank you to everyone in the sky. I'm saying the sky because there's a little video there. You can't see it, so I don't know what I'm saying. Of us in the sky. Wow, this is really good. Thank you so much for coming and listening. It's so lovely to get to do this. And thank you again to Morag. I'm going to say all this twice, so if you're in here, you can twiddle your thumbs. But thank you for Morag for having me. And thank you everyone for being here. I am going to sing one more song. And I'm going to sing, it's called The Housewife's Lament. If you know this song, please sing along. There's a chorus. This is so exciting. So I'm going to sing the chorus now so you can have a little preface. And then if you want to sing along, you don't have to, but I'll be really disappointed if you don't. So, okay, so the chorus goes. It goes, oh, life is a toil and love is a struggle. Beauty will fade and riches will flee. Pleasures will dwindle and prices they double, and nothing is as I would wish it to be. It's really easy. Okay, cool. So you've all got that now. We're all in a band. So I'm really excited. There will be marks at the end. So I'll just rate you all, and I'll give you a first, second, or a third, and we can, it'll be really fun. I'm joking. Okay, yeah, this is the Housewife's Lament. I learned this from the big book. It's called My Song Is My Own, and it was collated by Sandra Kerr, who's really cool. And thank you all for being here. And I've said all those things, so I can sing it now. One day I was walking, I had a complaining and spied an old woman, the picture of gloom. She gazed at the mud on her doorstep, 'twas raining, and this was her song as she wielded her broom. Oh, life is a toil and love is a struggle. Beauty will fade and riches will flee. Pleasures will dwindle and prices they double, and nothing is as I would wish it to be. Oh no, I got excited and then... There's too much of worriment goes in a bonnet. There's too much of ironing goes in a shirt. There's nothing that's worth all the time you waste on it. There's nothing that lasts us but pleasure and dirt. Oh, life is a toil and love is a struggle. Beauty will fade and riches will flee. Pleasures will dwindle and prices they double, and nothing is as I would wish it to be. There's worms in the cherries and slugs on the roses, and mice in the sugar and ants in the pie. The clockwork of spiders no mortal supposes, and damaging roaches and ravaging flies. From corner to ceiling, from wall to the centre, forever aware and forever alert. No rest for the day lest the enemy enters. I spent my whole life in a struggle with dirt. Oh, life is a toil and love is a struggle. Beauty will fade and riches will flee. Pleasures will dwindle and prices they double, and nothing is as I would wish it to be. Last night in my dream I was stationed forever on a far little rock in the midst of the sea. The one chance in life was a ceaseless endeavour to sweep off the waves as they swept over me. Alas, was no dream, ahead I behold it. I fear I am helpless my fate to avert. She laid down and died, and her apron she folded. She laid down and died and was buried in dirt. Thank you so much.
Now, we're really lucky because we've got an extra half hour of Maddie in a minute after a break. But people at home, I'm afraid that's the end for you. It's been really, really wonderful here. Thank you to tonight's socially distanced team, live streaming director Roger, best boy and cameras Phil, sound engineer John, donations and chat, social media Sandra in the kitchen, and Jack is out the front here taking photographs. And in her pinny at the bar, Una! We're live and with a small audience here. If you go to We Got Tickets or you ring me here, you can book tickets for next week. And there's lots going on. We're still live streaming the first hour because we have lower numbers in. To actually be able to afford to put on concerts here, we need people to donate as well. So please, if you could, that would be wonderful. We're sort of moving to Thursdays, but we've still got some Saturdays, so check, please. Next Saturday, we've got Tobiah and Colette O'Leary with keyboards player Simon Callow, not that one. Okay.
Thank God.
And if you have a spare accordion at home and you'd like to have an accordion workshop, Colette would like to do a workshop next Saturday afternoon, so please get in touch with me if you would like to do that. On July the 22nd, we have We Are Muffy, which is an amazing group who, as a duo, there's a fusion of voice and unusual instruments. Yeah, ooh. I expect the unexpected. So, thank you, Maddie.
Thank you very much, Morag.
Yeah, thank you for coming. And thank you, everybody at home. Thank you, everybody here. And let's keep music alive, keep watching. And my name's Morag Butler. Thank you very much.